the Nigerian Army, Navy personnel, and some of our other military and paramilitary officers whose salaries are being deducted from source. They are like collecting nearly half of their salaries. It's like they are deducting their money from source and they didn't tell them what is that for. The minimum wage that Tinubu announced is not being paid to anybody yet. So that news broke a week ago, and somehow it is believed that there is an internal brewing, internal mutiny that is brewing, which in itself is like a time bomb as we speak. So that guy was there to reassure some of these guys who are fighting the terrorists. It's called a theater of war. So those who are fighting the terrorists but are not really being paid well, promising them like everyone else did before him, promising them that their situation is going to improve and they are going to get more money, even though they will never get any more money. And if they get any more money, it is also never going to commensurate with the economic reality in Nigeria as things are, as we all know. Sure, you get. So right there in that same northern Nigeria, a video made it to the internet, and it was supposed to be an hospital. And the only way you get to know this is an hospital, a government hospital, is because children are crying. In this clip, we can't see their faces because it was so dark in Niger State. When you are born in Nigeria, right, the rest of the world is already leading you by about 5-0. But there is a chance that if you are born into the families of this, there's some certain families that if you are born into the families of the elites, the rich nobles, right, you probably will have about maybe equalized right from birth. You equalize by 3, it can be 5-3. Then they send you to school, and then you have this maybe inheritance and all that. And by that, you probably will match you match life by 5-5, and then maybe just surpass it as well based on all those advantages. Or if you are born to the majority population, which is the majority, 80% of the population living in abject poverty, the rest of life is already leading you by 5-0. If your parent try to get you this adulterated education, you are able to make something out of that for yourself, you were likely going to get to maybe you can score 1 back or 2, but life will still be leading you. And that is why you will be an hustler, struggling, hustling, and all that. And it is recorded that for your lifetime, it is likely, it is just about 1 out of 1,000 that will eventually equalize with life, right? And they will be like, finally, I've gotten to a stage whereby these are stuff that, where you would say all the things I didn't get, all the privileges I didn't have when I was a child or a little boy or girl, you will provide them for your own children. You will give them better education. You will ensure they have access to, a balanced diet. They would have access to the better health care. You can afford to, things that you never, which is pretty much like privileges, like 24 hours electricity. So that's what majority of us are thriving to kind of give to our own children and say, all the things I missed, right, growing up, I want my children to actually have them now. Or you guys are just so lucky, kind of. That is exactly what Nigeria is. billions and billions of Nigerian money, including loans taken in the name of the people, have been squandered, looted by the ruling class. And every day, children are being brought to this world in that Nigeria. Many of them being brought to this world, into this world in IDP camps, in darkness. Imagine getting born in the dark. You don't even have an idea where you are. But something will remind you that this is Nigeria. Welcome to this world, as it turns out to be. So lucky you, if you were born in an hospital, even if there's no light, it's still an hospital. Others were born in IDP camps and other unimaginable, inhabitable places. And this is the result of the ruiners of Nigeria, like Dele Farotimi will put it. There's one of his interview years back where he was talking about this rot. Found it.
You asked. Any Nigerian who is still hanging around waiting for 2023 to change Nigeria is a fool. Line 20 Dele Farotimi up and ask them to become president of Nigeria. 20 of me, 20. Multiply their brain power by 10, factor of 10, and then force them to operate the 1999 Constitution with the governance system that is enshrined in it. We shall fail spectacularly. The problem of Nigeria can never be resolved by personnel changes. The system is designed with impunity undergirding it, and it can never deliver anything positive to the Nigerian peoples. Be those Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, Fulani, whatever they care to be. Make an Igbo man president of Nigeria in 2023 and force him to operate the 1999 Constitution. Complete waste of time. Igbo will continue to suffer the brunt of the wickedness of the Nigerian state. Every Nigerian is rendered stateless by the 1999 Constitution. It is an iniquitous, wicked, and evil document. It has nothing good for the Nigerian people. And the longer we continue to fool ourselves believing, and let me enter one quick caveat. Our rulers are actually very intelligent when they care to be, especially when it comes to their own preservation. And I know as a fact that they're already making noises about restructuring in Abuja. The Mace Snatcher and the Lawan and that one that calls himself Baja, all of them are sat there running helter-skelter, cobbling together some lies that they intend to sell to us as constitutional, what do they call it, amendment. Let's be clear. You cannot continue to build on top of lies. You can't sustain that lie. And as long as justice is missing in a place, you continue to have strife. We need to tell ourselves the truth, and that truth is that the closest we can come to normalcy in Nigeria is to have a return to the original agreements that founded this country. Those agreements are very clear in their fundamentals. One of them, federal system. Nigeria is today not a federal system. Let's stop lying to ourselves. The word federal was brought to life by the American election. Each state has its own electoral body because it is essentially a country within a larger country. That was what our fathers agreed. Nobody agreed a situation where a clueless man will sit down inside a rock and begin to issue edicts and diktats to every other person. Nobody signed on for that in 1960. All the constitutional conferences, beginning from 1948 all the way to the 1951, all the way to 1960, each and every one of them was very clear and unambiguous. Nigeria was meant to be a federal system based on parliamentary democracy. It wasn't by accident that our fathers settled on parliamentary democracy. They wanted to make democracy as close to the people as it could be. So it simply meant that if you're a parliamentarian, you knew your people knew you. It was the aggregation of the parliamentarians that determined who became the prime minister, and they were also the ones at the regional level who determined who became the premier. So democracy was devolved. It was easier for the people to become involved. What we have today is not a democracy. What we have today is not a federation. We've just become a nation of liars who readily accept every lie that we are told.
Dele.
You know, when he left, that is that long, because he was sending a message. Dele Farotimi said, we are living in a country of lunatics. We are all mad. That if you look at this Nigeria and everything playing out, from the leaders to the followers, from the ruiners to the ruined in Nigeria, we are all mad, even though we are pretending to be normal people. So he left his ear to grow that way, to become that like a madman. I missed that time, because later, Dele Farotimi later calmed down and joined the obedience, a political movement that he believes that if it was given the opportunity, is the closest to the Nigeria revival. And therefore, it played a very huge role in that, not only to nurture the young ones who have given up on Nigeria. It is also to be like a bridge between those who have given up on Nigeria and those who want to give Nigeria a chance, by making himself the, the bridge between them. And that earned him a lot of enemies from the establishment, right? Dele Farotimi belongs to the Yoruba Afenifere group. And when the Afenifere group endorsed Peter Obi, that moment was the day they had a target on his back. And they've been looking for how. And he said he's not going to leave Nigeria. I won't leave Nigeria. I will not run away from these guys. Whatever they want to do, let them bring it on. Now they've brought it on now. So which means we are all Dele Farotimi. All of us are. Whether you are for the breakup of Nigeria, or you are for this one Nigeria of a different, that is different from what you have right now, right? We are all Dele Farotimi. So there is a clip of the NDLEA. Which one should we go for first? The rescued mother kidnapped in Abuja, rescued by the police in Abuja. This is a good one, by the way. And it is the report of a rescued mother who was kidnapped with her own child in Abuja. Yeah.
On this particular day, 31st of October, 2024, the mother of a young man sitting beside me here, 4-year-old Hope Evans, was taken to school by the mother, deposited in school, and the day activity went normal. But at the end of the day, a particular woman named Blessing Okoye, who had a child in the school, came and lured the 4-year-old young boy out of the school. She went to their house in Port Harcourt and quickly packed out and escaped to Abuja. Later in the day, the parents came to take Hope Evans home and they found him missing in school. So the policemen in Port Harcourt started frantic work on it before finally suspecting that the suspect may have escaped to Abuja. The police and the younger sister of the mother of the child contacted us and we started work on it. It took us 2 weeks of serious work, serious search, for us to finally locate where Blessing Okoye was hiding with the young man. On arresting him, we discovered another man, another young boy with him, whom she claimed was her child and that the father was dead. The interesting thing is that he has already changed the name of Hope Evans to David Evans. And at the same time, she contacted her former lover, whom she has told impregnated her some years back, that was the result of that pregnancy. And that one was working frantically to unravel it if it was true that he was the owner of this young man. So we have in our hands cases of 2 young men found with this suspect. I want to use this opportunity to talk to owners of schools and parents to take the safety of children kept in their care very seriously because we are moving towards the new year. People who never work from the beginning will want to make money. And child thieves are out like other criminals. Take good care of children kept in charge of you, and parents should take their time to educate their children, no matter how young they are, never ever to collect food or to follow strangers. Thank you.
Amen. So a child was kidnapped from River State and then moved to Abuja, rescued by the police. But here is another one. Drug smugglers using water hydrants. What is this? Is that water pump or something? So, and they got discovered by the NDLEA. And in my own opinion, somebody actually snitched. It is not that the NDLEA are that good. Pardon my, what do you call it? Skepticism. Okay. Because I don't see them this good. Somebody actually snitched. Take a look at this.
Yeah, where did
Somebody must have snitched. Abi, how can you go and pack a boat inside the water hydrant? Abi, what is they call that thing? Is that not called water hydrant? Eh? I mean, I don't understand. But yeah, the NDLEA posted the video to show walking, that they are walking on. I think 2 days ago, a member of this platform called in when she returned back from Nigeria, and she was talking about the drug epidemic in Nigeria, the drug pandemic, that it is so rampant now that they are no longer hiding it. Not like back in the days where you just have to really, really belong to some group of, people before you can access some class A drugs, banned substances like that. But that these days, they are like hawking drugs, like they are hawking agbado in traffic. You park your car, some spots, they will come to you and be like, "Here, you want this, you want that, you want," like they want to sell you something in traffic. So I probably never ever in my life believed that they will go and put Igbo. Igbo is the easiest to see now, Abi. Igbo is that hard to see now in that contraption. Igbo was never really that. But they load Igbo for trucks. You see Igbo, they will load it inside a truck, like a whole truck. But for people to hide Igbo inside the water hydrant and then they seal it up, they painted it to look normal. I mean, I don't understand though. And you can't say you want to export Igbo through water hydrants, can you? Water pumps. Okay, is that water pump? You can't say you want to hide Igbo inside water pump now and send it abroad. Who won't buy water pump for abroad? They packaged it, they did everything to make it look like, you just bought it. Somebody snitched. That is my own conclusion. It is not that these guys are that good. Now, somebody snitched. However, in Ondo States, Araromi, somewhere in Ondo, the residents have raised alarm because they drilled their own borehole to draw water, okay, where you have to provide your own water. In Nigeria, mostly you have to. But these ones are not lucky, as the nearby filling station that has their own reservoir, right? Somehow, probably underwater, the water there got contaminated. But this is not just a contamination, it's like a direct link. Their water turned to PMS from a nearby filling station, so they screamed out. Rather than draw water, they were drawing petrol in Ondo.
Omi wa lele báyìí o láti past July báyìí láti romi kan la gbogbo ẹ̀. Kọ̀ǹga wa ti bàjẹ́ o nọ́mbà 47 àárọ̀ mi street. Kọ̀ǹga yẹn kìí petrol ní báyìí o. Petrol gbogbo ẹ̀ náà wò. Ẹ̀pọ́n jáde kẹ́káyé rẹ̀ nọ́mbà 47 ṣẹ́rí báyìí láàárọ̀ mi street ṣẹ́rí odidi kọ̀ǹga tó fi ń dáná tó fi ń jẹun òun lẹ́ ń wò yẹ o. Petrol ló bàjẹ́ o, ṣẹ́ ti rí báyìí ṣẹ́ ti rí o. Petrol ló bàjẹ́ o, nọ́mbà 47 ṣé mo lè ṣe dáná ṣó ṣe ń jẹun ṣẹ́ ti rí báyìí ṣẹ́ ti rí o. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ ẹ̀pù ààrẹ mi fi jẹun ààrẹ mi fi fa bá ààrẹ mi fi fa aṣọ ṣẹ́ ti rí o ṣẹ́ ti rí o.
And I hope they get the help. Because the first thing first is to quickly seal off the area. Because any spark, it is going to be a serious inferno. Forget about the fact that the petrol has mixed with water. Forget it. Or if any spark, fire like that, that can cause the loss of lives and properties. And that is why I am joining others. Number 47, Araromi Street in Ondo. I'm joining them to help them amplify this awaiting disaster. And I hope they get the help as soon as possible. And hopefully they can still get clean water, because if the underwater bed is contaminated, they would probably